Welcome one and all to a overcast Russia. We're here at the Sochi International Circuit and ready to get this qualifying session underway, the first pre-season race. Building up to the Euro Cup as we head towards the end of F1 2020 and not too long before F1 2021. And it's going to be a dry qualifying session. Overcast throughout, but dry for all of our drivers. It's like some people already deciding to come out onto the track. Looks like one of the Red Bulls will be the first person to come out. And it looks like it's going to be Crankybot making his way down towards the end of the pit lane. The track temperature is 25 degrees. The air temperature is 16. It's a little bit chilly on the Baltic coast. I think it's the Baltic coast. I'm not too sure, to be perfectly honest. But he heads out onto the track and a couple of cars following as well. It looks like we've got two guys opting maybe to use the medium compound tyres in their first run. It is a soft medium strategy, I believe, in this race. A pretty straightforward one for our drivers. Well, let's now see how they get on. It's a really, for me personally, that's not the line you want to be taking through turn 4, Cranky, but nevertheless, it's only the outlap. Russia's one of those tracks that it doesn't work in real life. It looks like it should, it just kind of doesn't. But for me, it works in league racing. I think this is going to be a good race set up for us, and we're really going to see how the field works. It's the first time a lot of these guys will be racing each other. A few new faces as well to think about at RLH. Hello, Prince. Hope you're well. Looking forward to our battle tomorrow in C1. I haven't actually done a race around Austria on this game, so it's going to be fun, I think. But that could be the case for a lot of guys. I think Russia's not sort of a popular one to sort of be picked as sort of very much like a car park. But nevertheless, Cranky making his way around, and we'll see how he fares through this final sector. Very tricky, technical, massive off-camber curb there as he puts his overtake up into hot lap, and he's going to get ready to push now as he makes his way around the penultimate corner. He's thinking about that launch he needs onto the main straight. Gets the power down nicely, and off he goes. See the roller coasters in the background. And now Cranky flies through what is turn 1, complete flat, no troubles at all. And now down towards the first proper braking zone, turn number 2. Gets the car slowed down from 333 kilometers per hour. Drops it down to third gear, keeps it well within track limits. And now through the long turn number 3. Just goes on forever, this corner. It almost feels like. And then heavy braking zone off turn 4, get the car turned in fourth gear. Hello, Timo, as well. And Crankybot comes to the end of the first sector. There's going to be a 33.4 as the first time of the day. We'll see what the Williams driver can do as well. He's a 32.9, so 5 tenths up on Cranky. The flying at the moment is Pratik. That's the driver behind. We're following Cranky through this lap, and now this middle sector. A lot of medium speed corners, just trying to keep that speed up. And now he's going to think about this launch onto the back straight. Of course, the second of the 2 DRS zones. And the Red Bull climbing up through the gears. See what this middle sector time is going to be. Can he fight this back? Currently, the fastest person on track is Justus, the Renault driver in P11. Crankybot, again, 2 tenths down on the Williams driver behind him. And now into this final sector. Can that Red Bull come into its own? Of course, they're all equal cars, but nevertheless, he might have a strategy setup that just favours the final couple of corners. And unfortunately, Crankybot just running that little bit too, cutting the corner a little bit too aggressively. But of course, not having harsh boundaries on the runoffs, it does make it a bit more. You want to push the limits a little bit more. As he comes across the line to 31.5, the first time of the day. The current driver flying at the moment is the Renault driver of Justus. Keza goes into pole position time just ahead, and Justus takes that by half a second, putting himself well up the order. But Bruma beats that by 4 tenths of a second. It was a brilliant final sector from Bruma. Found 5 tenths of a second on Justus in that final sector alone. Maggot on the medium tyres at the moment. The times are starting to flood in. The house driver Cosmic goes into P3. And Tiku near the end of his lap. There's going to be a couple cars coming towards the line now. The Mercedes of Black Mamba is still in the pits, so Bruma is in the pits actually. Got that one wrong. He's just come back into the pits, Black Mamba, but Tiku round the final corner and onto the main straight is going to be a 31.3, and he slots himself into P4. Good stuff so far from the Hasses and the Renaults. Further back, mediums for Miranda. And we'll see how Miranda's got a bit of support on the medium charge, trying something a little bit different. We'll see Maggot on the mediums. I think Maggot a little bit closer towards the end of his lap. See how he is faring on these tyres. Currently in P9, a little bit off. I think you would expect the middle sector was relatively good in comparison to the soft running guys. See if he can get this final sector hooked up. Across the line, it's a 32.3. He goes P9, so definitely probably needs, he's going to need another lap on that one. The other medium runner of Miranda, we'll compare the two times. And so far, he's a little bit up. He was a little bit up in the first sector, lost quite a bit of time in the middle in comparison to Maggot. We'll see how the final sector can fare for the 95 Ferrari drivers. Might gain a bit of distance, and actually he's coming to the pit lane, so not working for him. Chimobile on his second run on this set of tyres, and who's that improving? I think it's Ricker. 2 laps for him on the softs, and he goes into P5 in his racing point. Very close at the moment in the low 31s, and actually Liam just a little bit off Bruma. Brilliant time of 30.6. Let's see what Chimobile can do in the AlphaTauri. Going down in P15, just about avoids some wing damage, lost the car on that sort of off-camber bit of track. Will he complete the lap? I think he is. That definitely cost him a little bit of time. Luckily getting away with a invalidation. And across the line goes 32.5. Unfortunately that mistake costs him on this occasion. You got Lucas on an out lap in his Williams. Black Mamba the same, just a little bit further up the road. Is anyone on a flying lap? Big Bear. 9 sets down the first set, I would imagine, is on sort of a push in lap. Liam going again. No, he's not. I think he's called it a day on that set, so maybe I've invalidated that first lap and just deciding to go again. Matt coming to the pit lane after invalidating, and Chimobile on it in lap 2. So we're going to get to watch a full on ball with Black Mamba, I believe. He'll be the next car to, I think, start a flying lap, if I'm correct. And we'll watch how the Mercedes driver gets on. Very experienced driver in RLH. Always up at the sharp end, especially in the tiers. Bit of a snap there off the final corner. That's not going to help his run down towards turn 2. DRS will be open now. Let's see how fast he can get as he hunts for a bit of a tow from the Ferrari in front, then pulls back onto the racing lines. That might have just helped him to cancel out the poor exit from the final corner. Now it's a nice tight line through turn 3, foot to the floor the whole way through as he gets down towards turn number 4. Sort of one of the key track limits points, very safe and composed, but that's, that could be quick. That does gain you time. First sector is a 33 flat, and using all the track available to him on the exit of turn 5. A lot of guys putting new sets of softs on in the pit lane, waiting for that second set of runs, which I'm sure is going to happen very shortly. So far, pretty clean from Batman, but this middle sector has been very composed. And keep clear. I think that is crucial around Russia, just making sure you thread the needle between the curves. That's effectively what it is, and just avoid the walls, and all's going to go your way. A lot of predictions so far are suggesting Bruma, Big Bear, Mamba up at the front. That's a lot of people's top 3 in a relative order. So we'll see how that fares. Bruma currently on provisional pole, but Liam very close behind. We'll see what Mamba can do on this current flying lap. It was a middle sector of a 31.3, and it's actually the Ferrari of Florian who was purple in the middles. No, it wasn't, the Red Bull. Apologies. As he crosses the line, goes into 3rd. Very, very quick, and pulled that one out the bag. Lucas, though, onto provisional pole. Brilliant time, and it was him that went purple in the middle sector, so I do apologise for that little mistake, but almost a 10th out in front. Great lap from him, and we'll see how the 2 Ferraris on their laps. We've got Pratik as well. See in front or behind? I think he is in front, so we'll follow him and then we'll drop back as they set the times. Pratik currently down in P12, purple actually in the first sector, 32.7, and he's still finding time, not quite purple but pretty much matching what Lucas managed on his flying lap. This will be a great time from Pratik, really strong qualifying in the Race of Champions last week, which didn't quite fall his way at the pivotal moment. Great job from Lucas. Final 2 corners to go for Pratik. Can he be nice and composed in this final sector? The times are really starting to tumble, and he provisional pole for Pratik. First person into 30.4s, and now we've got to try and drop back and see who is setting that. Bit of a battle here between the Haas and the Red Bull. Do not know what's going on here. And Bruma retakes. Bruma retakes the provisional pole, and Florian drops into third. He was purple in the middle sector. It was actually purple in the first sector for Pratik, purple in the middle sector for Florian, and Bruma taking the final sector by quite some margin. Someone go up the order? Not too sure. That married to the pit lane. Just who's just starting his flying lap. Cosmic on an in lap, it looks like. Same for Sammy, he's invalidated. And Maggot on his first time on the soft compound tyres. So if I'm correct, I reckon it's going to be Just Stoos, the next car to start a lap. Good first sector for the Renault, and it's so good that he's gone purple. See how he can get the rest of this middle sector lined up for himself. A little bit of a lock-up going today. You just heard the squeal. Almost looks like it wants to rain, but I can confirm there will be no rain in this session. And now, not a lot you can do for this moment. DRS wide open. Hot lap mode enabled. And just run for the hills for the time being. And its middle sector is purple once again. Just as it's flying out there at the moment. And how can he get this final sector hooked up? The target for this final sector is 26.1. There's only one person that's been in that so far, and he's currently sat on provisional pole. Can Justus get this one nailed? Can he get it all sorted? Two more corners, one more corner to go. Bit of a lock up. Now the bolt for the line. It's going to be a 30.5. Misses out on the def there, and it was losing a little bit of time in that final sector. I think those off-camber corners caught him out of touch, and Liam, though, going well as well. 0.005 of a second up at the moment, and well, if he can find 2/10, that'll put him right up the order and really in that hunt. Look how close it is in the top three at the moment. All of them, well, separated by about 0.5 tenth. And Liam, he wants to join that battle, but he lost a little bit of time in the middle sector. The final sector, though, that seems to be where the winners and losers are being found out, because the margins are so big in this final sector. Such a difficult part of the lap, the off-camber corners. You want to really hook this one up and, well, keep it clean as well. It's so easy just to run that little bit too wide. And round to the penultimate corner. How dare wide do you run? You want to get the best slingshot onto the final straight. Not a long way to go to the line. It's a 30.7. He does not improve, just misses out. Unfortunately, this time around, Riker on a flying lap as well. Looks like Keza, I think, is a little bit further ahead on his time. And we'll see what Keza can do into the final two corners. Fix that Alfa Romeo in. Nice on the curbs, keeping it clean. Another short bolt to the line. That was a brave move across the final corner, but he finds 0.7 of a second, goes into P7 just ahead of Mercedes. A Black Mamba. Looks like Chimobo's gone into P9, just a little bit behind as well. One driver's on out laps to the Ferrari. Is it Miranda? It is Miranda. He's invalidated his previous lap, and he's ready to go again. The only driver currently, as things stand, without a time on the board. I think the McLarens will probably be wanting to go again. Not representative times, I would have thought, for the two McLarens so far in this qualifying session. But Miranda down towards turn number one. Two cars getting out of the way very nicely. And now the long bolt round turn number three. Definitely an action zone. We could see the battles carry on after the first couple of corners. I have seen moves into turn four. I remember Hamilton on the inside of Vettel. A move there midway through one of the races, I think, in 2018. But so far, so good for Miranda. Decent first sector time, matching what a lot of the guys have been doing, just sneaking to the 32s. That's in 32 seconds for the first sector. And that's all about keeping it clean, keeping the minimum cornering speed up through this middle sector. And onto the back straight he goes. Looking else on lap, one of the Williams drivers just starting a flying lap. I imagine that's Lucas going for what I imagine will be his final run. Good middle sector for the Ferrari driver. I reckon he's going to be wanting to maybe try and sneak into the 1:30s with this time. Running a little bit wide, they had to get out the power. As he comes through the awkward chicane, he's taking a really nice sort of switchback line that's going to give him a good exit towards the penultimate corner. How can the 96 driver fare on this one? He's run out of deployment, but there's not a long way to go. Just about keeps him in the track and loses a little bit of time as he's 31 dead. And Black Mamba's into the pit lane despite improving, so he made a small mistake somewhere. Crankybot on a flyer. I think we'll look at Lucas. He is a little bit ahead on his time, and he's finding time. Mallet Donkey has joined the session. That's good news. We're going to have 18 drivers for the start of this race. And Lucas was up in the first sector. How's the second sector going to fare? He's flying at the moment. He goes purple in the middle sector. A 10th up. This could be looking like a provisional pole time, but don't forget, people are still to set laps. We're going to see a flurry of cars leaving the pit lane very, very shortly. What can the Williams driver do as he flicks it in to the third from last corner? Pretty nice, using all the track, carrying the speed, carrying the momentum into the final couple of corners we go. Dips one wheel over the curve. That's a nice little line to get a good slingshot onto the main straight. Finds 0.4 of a second. What a final sector from the Williams driver. And that is going to take some beating, I would imagine. His teammate, though, on an in-lap, he is pretty much done, I believe, in qualifying. The two Williams have set their times. How's Miranda getting on? He's backed off. He's going to be wanting to go again. Tiku just starting a flying lap. We've got Samuel finding time so far in the first sector. What's he going to do in the middle? 0.8 of a second up. Brilliant middle sector from the Haas driver. Somebody's just improved. I thought I saw someone jump up the order. I think it might be Liam on his outlap. That's what I saw out the corner of my eye. Oh, it's a big moment for the Haas driver. Is he going to carry on? He might want to sort of back off and think about going again. He's coming into the pit lane. The Haas driver will start no higher than 15th, I believe. Maggot on a time. He comes into the pit lane. Maggot into this awkward chicane. Definitely breaks up the racing a little bit. Has he backed off? I don't think he has. I'm quite sure with that one. 2 corners to go for the McLaren driver. And around the final corner, what's it going to be? It's 1 minute 30.7. Goes into P8 with that time. And the Red Bull of Liam starting his final flying up in the session. We've got a minute left in the session, so some drivers, I think the two Mercedes, got to get a move on. Just on start of the back straight. We're going to be on board with Liam for this flying lap. Lucas is retired, but I think that was in the pit, so we don't have to worry about that one. On track, nothing more the provisional pole sitter can do in this session. He flicks it in. What's this first sector going to be like? Can he find time through only what is really 4 corners? And he's pretty much matched what he's done. A 32.9, that's good. A good first sector, matching what everyone's pretty much doing. And then very nice line through there underneath the Amoco I couldn't get that word out. And now ready to launch himself onto the back straight. Now it's a waiting game, hoping he's up on his delta. He'll be able to see up. We can't quite see it on the dash of the steering wheel. We'll see what this. He's a 1/10 of a second up. And a 10th. Well, he needs to find a little bit more than a 10th. What can he do in this final sector? He needs to find a 10.5. The checkered flag is out. These will be the final times of the day. Who is the next one behind him? I'm going to try and work it out. One of the Haas's, I think so. We'll flick to the Haas after this lap. Liam, though, 2 corners to go. Nice bit of curb on the inside. Final corner. Now just needs to launch the car towards the line. It's going to be at 30.5. Goes into P5. Finds one place. Cosmic now, the next driver to finish his lap. I think Big Bear's behind him. Big Bear's in trouble at the moment, down in P17. Cosmic, though, a little bit of curb on the inside. That unsettled the car a touch, but luckily the car is facing the right way. Unlike Mazepin's. And then round the penultimate corner we go. One more corner to think about as he rounds the final corner. A bit of short shifting across the line, goes into P14. What can Big Bed do? A little bit up on his time. Round the final corner, stays P17. Unfortunately for him, Florence retired, and I think he may have hit the wall. Nevertheless, we'll have a look at Bruma. Challenging up at front. He's almost 0.2 of a second up on his time. Can he make any inroads on Lucas? Reich will be the next car to cross the line. See what he can do in that racing point. He's going to stay P12. What can Bruma though? Can he get the time? Not quite. Goes purple in the final sector, but stays P2. Who was that jumping up the order? It was Black Mamba. Goes into P5. And Keza, I think, might be the last car as he comes into the pit lane. And that is qualifying done and dusted. What a battle up at the front. Bruma just missing out. It was a purple middle and a purple final sector for the Mercedes driver. But unfortunately, he still is in the second spot on the grid. But as we saw in real life, you might not always want to be first here in Russia. when starting the race. And sometimes it does benefit to maybe be where Pratik is. Well, not in the pit lane, but in that third spot. He's going to have a nice slipstream down towards turn number 2, of course, the first braking zone of the lap. But it's P5 for Black Mamba. So decent outing for Mercedes. Good start to pre-season for them. But Lucas takes pole position here in Russia. Bruma in second. Pratik rounds out the top 3. And it's going to be very, very competitive. I mean, from Pratik, you know, down towards, well, pretty much most of the field, if you exclude the top 2, separated by just over a second. It's going to be a very competitive race. And well, I am looking forward to it. 2 Austrians, 4th and 5th. They only have a double nation. Got a few English guys. Double Finnish. Is that the Monegasque one or the Singapore one? I'm not too sure. Wonder what the conditions will be like for the race. Whether we're going to have sunny skies. Maybe that's why some guys are in a little bit out of position, running maybe a wet setup. Who knows? And well, you do not need a wet setup at all. The sun is shining and it's a very bright day here in Sochi. And we're just ready for the guys to select their strategies. I think, well, everyone in the top 10 is probably going to be aiming to do a soft medium. But what will the guys outside the top 10 decide to do? Will they go for the medium tyres? Will they go for the hard tyres? Try something completely sort of off script, if you like, and try and mix things up. We're going to see. Pre-season, it's that time to test things out, time to give it a go. And just sort of show what you can do. And hopefully we're going to see a bit of that here this evening, but of course keeping it clean and some good hard but fair racing. And we're all readied up. And it's time for the start of the formation lap. Lucas gets us underway. Great qualifying for the Williams in 1st and 3rd. And in that sandwich is Bruma. Then Pratik, of course the other of the 2 Williams. Florin in P4, Black Mamba P5, Liam in 6th, Justus in 7th, Keza is 8th, Maggot is 9th, Miranda rounds up the top 10 in P10, and now, what tyres will everybody else be on? Jamabel, he's deciding he doesn't need to warm up his tyres, he's on the mediums. Riker on the softs in P12, Rankibot on the mediums in 13th, Cosmic also on the mediums in 14th, Tiku matching the Renault with his mediums in 15th, Samuel on softs in 16th, and Big Bear rounds out the field on mediums as well. It's a sunny day. Air temperature has gone up to 20 degrees. Track temperature is 29. So the tyres, well, might be yielding a little bit more grip out there, and that will definitely help them with full, half full tanks. This car's going to feel a little bit slower, a little bit more awkward. And that's the predicted pit stop strategy for our race leader. Oh, I just lost it. I was going to see what the predicted medium strategy was, but it looks like it's going to be softer medium around sort of lap 10. And that's when the first pit window will be open. And the guys really getting their tyres warmed up. Has Jermaine decided to start warming his tyres up? Yeah, a little bit. Let's get those mediums fired up. You're going to be trying hunting for chances. Because with such a long run down towards turn 2, you pretty much approach it at normal racing speeds. There can be the odd bit of chaos. Of course, we're going to have a very clean race. We're all expecting and looking forward to a nice clean couple of opening laps. But you never know. In league racing, there can always be a surprise around every corner and behind every wall, especially here because, well, it's like driving around a car park with some walls and curbs put in it. But there's the drivers line up on the grid. We're not long away from the start of this race as our pole position driver slots into his grid spot, nice and slowly but surely. And he can wait for the lights, and we just wait for Big Bet to round the final corner. And it will be time to get racing here in Russia, kicking off effectively the start to the Euro Cup. As we get pre-season underway, C4 also racing this evening. Is this really the shot I'm going to get for the race start? I think it might be. And the lights are here now. We have 2, 3, 4 and 5 red lights here in Russia. And it's lights out and away we go. The Euro Cup is underway. Pre-season underway. Who's got the best of the starts? The Mercedes of Bruma already tucked into the slipstream. The Williams and the Ferrari are going to be battling just behind, picking up places. Florian already ahead. Not a great start for the Williams actually of Pratik. Head down towards turn number 1. Maybelline can move around the outside. Bruma. Can he go clean around the outside of Lucas? He's going to try it and he's done it. I think maybe just, you know, cutting the corner a little bit, but it was a great move now. Can Lucas fight this one back? He's going to try and go around the outside. Overtake is enabled for the Williams driver. Doesn't quite have the legs though as they go down towards turn 4 just behind. Almost free abreast there, and we look further back and the Red Bull and the Renault came to blows. Luckily both of them facing the right way. No damage either. The Ferrari runs wide but gets away with it. That's Miranda as we go down towards turn 5. There's about 5 cars abreast. Crazy stuff. Riker's made up loads of places. There's a car in the wall. That looks like it's Florian. Does he have wing damage? I don't think he has a wing. Oh, bit of contact as Riker tries to go around the outside. He's up to P7 now. Opportunistic move there from Cosmic to move himself up in a P8. Florian, it seems to be a bit of a sitting duck at the moment. Pratik just about avoids it. What's happened to Pratik at the start? He's dropped down from quite a way back. Pratik goes around the outside of the very wing damaged Florian. And not a great start for the Ferrari drivers. Good qualifying for him. And getting involved in battles now and actually just behind Jamobo and Miranda. Miranda ahead on those softs. Florian just on the inside. Oh, but looking for the move there. Jamobo not quite on this occasion. The 2 Red Bulls trying to get ahead of him. Liam's lost a few places on the start as well. Not going well for him. Is he going to go down the inside? He is. That's a good move from Jamobo. Bit opportunistic. Liam goes in a bit deep. I think just not expecting. Actually, Miranda's got wing damage as well. Will we see both Ferraris into the pit lane at the end of this lap? No, we won't. Is it just... Yeah, it's just changing. Bruma though, getting ahead. Fantastic move at the start of this race. And gets up into P1. Despite the timing order saying otherwise. Any moves happening in this one? Pratik getting ahead of Cosmic. And making his way back up the order. After a frantic first lap here in Russia. Florian, the only driver into the pit lane. Everybody still facing the right way. We'll see who the biggest winners and losers so far in this one. Well, it will refresh itself in a moment's time, as much as he'd love to be. Pipet, unfortunately, not in P1. And Cosme, I think maybe it's those medium tyres not using the initial grip compared to the softs. I think that's why Pratik getting ahead and making up some of the places he's lost. I think the timing order has reset itself. Look at that, down 5. Big winners. Riker up 5. You've got Cosmic up 5. Tico up 5. Samuel up 5. The good stuff from them. Liam and Miranda. Miranda getting out of shape. I think that front wing damage not helping, especially in this middle sector, when you sort of demand the a bit more front end grip. Help get the car turned in. Tiku not close enough to have a go on Cosmic. Both of these guys on the medium tyres. Get the tyres up, see who the bigger winners and losers are. Oh, look at that. You can see it visually with the tyres. Cosmic, Tiku making their way into the top 10, and a few of the soft running guys dropping out of it. Riker close behind Maga. These guys have battled in C3 before. Well, I've been in C3. Both very, very quick, and we'll see, will there be an overtake on the cards? Overtake enabled. Actually, Miranda is into the pit lane, so not happy with that front end. He's going to get close enough. The slipstream is there. No DRS, of course. Riker's going to go down the inside. Can he make the move stick on the brakes? Maga's going to hold this one round the outside. Almost bit of contact, and he just about holds on to it. Tiku losing a place to Samuel as well, just behind him. That's still wheel to wheel. Maga trying to hang on in there, but Riker just has the speed round the outside, and he moves himself up into P6. However, a bit of a compromised line. Could we see a move in the Ferrari of Florian, I think, into the wall just before the pit lane entry? And as Maga makes his way behind Riker, they've lost a bit of time to the guys in front. Lucas doing a good job just to keep within Bruma's DRS range at the moment. There's 2 Haas guys, the first 2 to get penalties, and that's a big moment. Did well to avoid it. He's not going to lose a position into this corner, but might be a little bit compromised now. And actually Shimobu, I think, losing the rear a little bit as well. Further up the road, Justu's not close enough to make a move this time around. Can Maga fight this one back? You have to wait until the main straight, and Tiku is the same, as he is looking at the back of the 2 Haas cars who are very close to battling. But there's been a change of positions. Blackman is in the wall. Has he got big wing damage? He needs to be careful with no ghosting on. If we don't have ghosting, it's like real life, and he's got to be sensible now. Well done to Mercedes driver there. but unfortunately for him, losing a lot of positions. We might see him into the pit lane, especially with that front wing damage. Florian comes out the pits on a set of mediums. Black Mamba and Big Bear, yep, swapping places as the Mercedes is into the pits. And this is getting interesting because he has DRS at the moment, maybe not for long. The Williams driver needs to work hard through this middle sector to ensure he keeps hold of DRS. Liam and Shimoda swapping places. That seems an easy move under DRS. And Pratik has joined the fight for P5 now. I think this could be a really good battle throughout the race between Riker, Maggot and Pratik. We'll see now. And we're going to do 3 seconds for our number 2 driver in this one. Asgard's still pretty good. They're about to join the battle as well. Will he look for a move down here? This is a very unorthodox place to go for the move, but it's a clean move, it must be said. And well, Samuel in the house looking to join the battle for P5. And he's very much within DRS range, so is, well, Cosmic Steel, but on those medium tyres, he's got a different race ahead of him, maybe just trying to keep ahead of Tiku. Now, the problem for the likes of Pratik and Samuel is the guy in front of them has DRS as well. Will Maga be close enough to go for a move? He's going to think about it, but not quite close enough. And actually, Lucas doing a very good job on this lap. Reeled Broomer in quite a bit. A couple of tenths, it must be said. Finding time in the first and the middle sector, I can see in front of me. And as they go onto the main straight, could we see a change of leadership? The Williams driver, as he had the exit he would want it. Actually, Broomer, I think maybe he's going to be able to overtake as that delta starts to build up, almost around 0.8 of a second, but DRS opens. And the speed swings back the way of the Williams driver. Riker leading the battle for P5. And still leading the battle for P5. Liam and Tiku swapping positions. Maybe just a small mistake there. The Williams driver, as the move was done quite a bit before. Well, the straight even started. Really? Still the same as its front. 5, 6, 7 and 8. Still as they were as well. Let's see. The medium guys are really coming to their own at the end of the race when they put on the soft compounder tyres. So far, Miranda sets the fast lap of the race on a brand new set of soft tyres. Mamba put on the hards when he came into the pits, looking to go long and maybe to the end of this race. Maggot not really, well, he's maybe going to start thinking about saving some ERS. Looks very low on the bottom of the screen as I say that. He deploys overtake mode, maybe looking to try and find a way past. As he's not going to be far off zero at this rate, but not quite closing in on Riker. But Pratik very close behind us, only has a little bit more ERS to his name. Let's get the telemetry shot. We can see what drivers are dealing with in terms of percentages a bit more clearly and just trying to stare down at the dashboard. But a good exit from Pratik, almost got a much more of a switchback line, getting a much better exit as Maggot focused more on the entry. And Pratik trying to line this one up. Of course, Maggot will have DRS to defend. Can't forget that Samuel is right behind the Williams driver as well. He's going to have more DRS, more ERS, and a dose of DRS. Will he get close enough to make a move on the McLaren driver? He's gaining. Will he gain as we get to the corner? He flicks to the inside. Not late enough on the brakes though. McLaren driver holds on to P6. Did he run wide though? No, he didn't. But it's now Samuel. Oh, and Maggot has got a poor exit. Maybe just no overtake available to him. Can he lose 2 places through turn 3? I think he might, as the Haas goes down the inside. And it's good moves from the Williams driver and the Haas driver that move themselves up in a P7 and P6 unrespectively. P6 and P7. And Maggot needs to make sure, if I was Maggot, I'd do my best to stay within DRS range. Try and save some of your ERS and come back at them. I think that's why he was almost a bit of a sitting duck in that moment as Tiku gets 3 seconds. Lucas up to 6 seconds worth of penalties now. So he's having to really push to keep with Broomer at the moment. And taking a lot out of, pushing quite, evidently quite hard and taking a lot of liberties on the curbs. Of course, it is only pre-season, but you want to make sure you avoid the track limits penalties. Try and avoid them as much because a late safety car can ruin your chances if you have a big build-up of penalties. But still sat in DRS range. Happy at the moment. And Broom, I'm sure is watching that gap. I think maybe has, a bit more of a, I don't know what the right word is, not a straight line here, but less drag on the car, running lower wings, set up to work better on the straight, because he seems to really gain quite a lot in the early phases of each straight, but then when DRS opens, the speed goes back to Lucas, speed advantage. Samuel, also another driver, seems to be quick for this sort of first sector. Almost hunting for a move as we move into the middle. Maggot maybe just starting to drop outside of DRS as Samuel picks up a penalty. The penalty starting to come in thick and fast now as drivers are using up their warnings. Like I was saying, qualifying, it is really easy just to carry a little bit extra speed, and you can just run wide. There is no punishment in terms of a gravel trap or some grass to really sort of slow you down, a bit of AstroTurf here and there, but that's about it. Can Samuel get close enough by the end of this straight? He is gaining just about. I think Pratik will hold on as they go down towards, I think it's turn 14, if I remember correctly. Maggot's Delta's yo-yoing a little bit. He gains time, then loses a little bit, but again, just keeping with that DRS. He's starting to build back some of that ERS. He was down at almost 0% a couple laps ago. And within the top 5, you've got Keza running a bit of a lonely race. He's sort of just a second and a bit ahead of Riker, but I think they might be starting to reel him in. If we have a look at the times on the last lap, it was only a 2/10 gain for Riker on Keza. But he seems to have lost a lot of time in this sort of opening straight. Maybe a poor exit for the Alfa Romeo driver. Justus, again, he is literally in no man's land at this point, just chilling in third place, no penalties to his name, and I think, well, it's all going to plan for him at the moment. Again, we turn our attention back to this battle for P5. Oh, and that's someone running wide. Who was that? One of the Haas cars. I think it might be Cosmic on the medium tyre. It's probably not long now before the medium tyre runners... Oh, and there's a driver in the wall. I think that's Samuel. He's got a little bit of wing damage. Nothing major. Big moment. Midway through the corner. Did well to... Well... not have more than a little bit from him. That's gutting for him. Was in a really good place in this race, and what that does mean is Maggot is now outside of DRS range, and Cosmic is within DRS range. There's been a switcheroo effectively, and now Pratik doesn't have to worry about what's going on behind him. However, Riker will be desperate to try and close the gap to Keza. Then he can start getting the joys of DRS as we're getting into a bit of a DRS battle still. Lucas in P2, still happily plodding along just behind Bruma. He's having to use his overtake just to sort of, that's what he's been doing, using it at the start of the straight. And he has it to, he's got the buffer to defend. Doesn't need to worry about, but yeah, Samuel into the pits, no surprises there as he changes that front wing. Where will he slot out? I imagine ahead of Miranda. Of course, the front wing change takes a little bit longer, so he's going to have to put in the work on whatever the medium tyres he puts on. Probably can go to the end, I would have thought, relatively comfortably. Maybe a few dramas at the end, but nothing too major. Really using their overtakes, these guys. Interesting to see. A lot of guys on quite low. Actually, he's going to lose position to Miranda. Samuel is going to come out just behind the Ferrari driver. Got a little bit of work to do. Of course, on those soft tyres, it's going to be difficult to overtake. Black Mamba into the pit lane as well. Putting on a new set of mediums. Maybe now trying to go to the end of this race. The race just settling, and I imagine when we get to the pit stop phase, it's going to ignite once again. As the medium tyre runners want to be going to around, I reckon, lap 16-ish, around that sort of area, and then softs to the end for them. And Bruma is in the pit lane. Bruma pulling the trigger out front. Lucas stays out. And who else coming to pit lane? We've got Justus coming in as well. Any others going to sort of follow the lead? I think Riker's into the pit lane. Pit window is open for the one-stop medium strategy as we start this lap. Mercedes driver was held. Bruma was held in the pits, I think, behind the Renault. Oh, and actually, he was not far off getting jumped. Justus almost coming out ahead of Bruma. That was a weird one. Could you imagine if the race leader, the virtual safety car is out? Why is the virtual safety car out? I wasn't paying attention. No one's retired. I don't think anyone had any. Has anyone had any major dramas somewhere? Is anyone in a wall? No, I don't think so. Miranda coming to the pit lane. I think maybe just taking advantage of this virtual safety car, and yeah, no front wing damage for him. It's not him. Oh, and that's why Florian hasn't got a front wing. The VSC has been called out, and actually, well, this is going to matter. We're green and racing once again, and Maggie gets a drive-through for speeding under the VSC. Has anyone else picked up a drive-through? It is quite easy to do. I've done it before. Oh, that's gutting for him. He's in a great position in what is currently P4. And gutting for the McLaren driver. Really going to throw him back down the order. That's definitely benefited just through that whole pit stop phase. Of course, pitting under the VSC, Tico losing a place as Chernobyl reacts to the VSC restart a bit better. Maggot, what's happened to him? Then a little bit of a moment, a bit of front wing damage for him. And Cosmic gets ahead into P4. Lucas into the pit lane this lap. And of course, our attention will, turn to Bruma. But staying out is Keza, staying out is Pratik. They're going a little bit longer. Their pit window's just opening now. I've got a few other guys coming to pit lane. Maggot will be serving his drive-through, I believe. As the Williams boys work on that car. Will Pratik be close enough for a move into turn one? Flicks out, but not close enough to go down the inside. There's a battle going on just behind, and that's Tiku making a move down the inside, winning his position back that he lost. Now for AlphaTauri has to slot in just behind. Bruma, though, battling away with Lucas. Lucas going down the inside. Lucas put on another set of softs, has he? He has done. Is he two-stopping? You don't need to two-stop. That's an interesting one. Definitely advantage Bruma, advantage Justus. I can't quite work that one out. Maybe it was just a case of, flicking the tyre choice to the wrong one. He's definitely going to have the speed now, though. Lucas will be quicker, but of course he's got to make another pit stop. In the dry race, you have to use two different compounds, and the soft isn't that. And in front, Pratik still within DRS range of Keza. Chernobyl and Tigu still battling away, but this is the battle we're watching at the moment. And I think the Williams driver wants to get the move done quickly so he can, try and sort of rectify this. He's got to pit once more. Bruma covers the inside, but not inside enough, and maybe down the inside. That's going to be... these are not great camera angles to watch it from. Bruma, actually, brilliant defence. Holds it on the outside, which then switches to the inside. Bit of lock-up. Lucas, you just see he's got more mechanical grip to place the car, and he's lining this one up into the pit lane. Comes Pratik and Keza. Bruma, bit of a dummy into the corner. Of course, not long before Bruma starts getting a helping hand of DRS. I'm not sure he'll be close enough to get it this time around. He won't be. He's using all the overtake he has available to him. He wants to hold on to this position, make life difficult for Lucas behind. I think we could see a nice simple move down into turn number 2, and he's going to get ahead on those soft compound tyres. And actually, now Justus is within DRS range of Bruma. Bruma, though, needs to hold on within a second, and maybe he can come back. Now the Williams driver will just help pull him along for a little bit. Big Bang Cranky Bot battling away at the moment. Free-scan penalty for Liam. We're still in touching distance of Tick. I think this race could be very interesting when penalties come into play as well at the end of this race, because especially with all those penalties he has to his name. It could be very difficult for him. They go down towards... Oh, Justus really closing in on Big Bet, and he's going to get ahead as well. McLaren driver losing places. What's that happening in front? Lucas trying to go around the outside of Cranky Bot. The elbows are coming out, and he's managed to get ahead of the Red Bull driver. Looks like Bruma... Oh, what has happened there? Cranky Bot not realising he's there. Bruma backs out of it, down the inside from Justus on Big Bet. Bruma, will he go for a move into the ultimate corner? Thinks better of it. I think maybe they thought these moves will be a little bit easier than they're proving to be. I'm sure we're going to see a move into turn 1. Mercedes looking to get ahead. He's already ahead. Jesus has managed to get ahead of Big Bet. Will he try and get ahead of Crankybot as well now? Yes, he will. And he's going to go down the inside into turn number 2. Unfortunately, the Red Bull and McLaren have lost out a little bit, and Big Bet hits up his first time penalty of the race. Pratik and Keza still going at it, even after their pit stops have been completed. As he comes down towards turn 4, no, moves down the inside just there. But if I'm correct, I imagine the battle for the race lead is currently Bruma and Justus, because Lucas still has to pit again. And I think I don't think, especially with the, well, I believe now is 9 seconds of penalty. I just don't think. Yeah, he's very quick. We've seen that this evening. He's a very, very quick driver. I just don't think he's got the pace to pull it back, especially considering it's not like he's putting on a new set of softs. It's going to be a set of mediums. So then we imagine Riker is effectively in P2, followed by P3, Keza in 4th, and Pratik just behind in probably what's P5, but of course got the guys on the mediums who are yet to pit. They'll be coming in a couple of laps' time. Getting a bit darker overhead in the skies. See what the eye in the sky says on the old temperature, or the weather, that's the word. Oh, we got rain. That's why he's coming to the pit lane. I got things very wrong. We're expected rain in the next 15 minutes. So at the end of the race, that's why Lucas has put on a set of softs. That's why they were being fought hard. Rain is imminent here in Russia. There's an extra spice, an extra twist in the tail. There's a change of positions because Pratik and Keza are still going wheel to wheel. Keza just somehow holds on once more. We've got rain in about 15 minutes time. So just before the end of the race, I would imagine. It's going to be touch and go, but I think if this rain does come, I think it will be here. He's still pushing Pratik. Liam not too far behind this one. Liam, I think, might maybe have gone for the same strategy as Lucas. They know the rain's coming. They've gone soft. They're confident that the rain will be here. So I take back everything I said. Lucas is still in this race. He's ready to fight. And he's gone with the aggressive strategy. I like that. Guns blazing, soft. He wants the pace. And he's going to need to find a bit more of a gap. Bruma has picked up a penalty. When it comes into the race between those two drivers, it's going to be a 6-second swing in Bruma's favour. Lucas doing the old duck out, maybe just to see the line, maybe just to intimidate his rival as he comes around the final corner. On the power. Ball gallops well a little bit, but he's reeled straight back in, and with a helping hand of DRS, this could be a relatively simple move down towards turn number 2. And it is, as the Williams driver slots in to 3rd on the road. And well, he'll be hoping the rain doesn't take too long. Actually, we could see maybe the medium guys of Cosmic and Tiki, will they risk going all the way to the rain period? Something to think about. Just about holding on, holding within DRS range of Bruma. Cosmic gets 3 seconds added, and Lucas really pressurising Tiku, who has to get out of it a little bit, just has much more speed on those fresh softs, and will he be looking for a move into here? Surely you'd wait for the DRS straight, and that's what he's going to have to do. Overtake enabled, DRS enabled, and that's all a bit of a miscommunication, I think, there going on. And I think the Renault driver let that one go. I think he knew the move was coming. But I think, yeah, a little bit of miscommunication on the straight as he sort of Lucas went to the right, but then realised there wasn't really space there as Tiku then moved to the left to leave him space, and they both went to the left. But no harm done, no damage done, and everyone's still facing the right way. And into the pit lane comes Jamoba. He's looking for maybe a set of softs to boost him towards the rain period. Rain now 10 minutes away. The rain is imminent. I would imagine it won't be long before there'll be some specks of rain in the air. Blackman picks up 3 seconds, coming down in P16, a bit of rain, but maybe a safety car or something like that will really help the two Ferraris and Black Mamba. Change position as Big Bear is ahead of Crankybot. Their battle still raging on. Can the Rebel hold it around the outside? He can't on this occasion. Riker though with the overspeed. He wasn't held up. He's going to go past 1. Can he get past 2? He's going to look down the inside of Big Bear. What a move from Riker. Taking advantage of their battle. And he moves himself up in a P6. That's not the word. P6, and he's on a charge at the moment in that racing point. He's got Justus and Bruma quite a bit up the road, so he's got a bit of clean air to work into. We're seeing what he can do with that pace. Liam just behind Pratik, and on fresh softs, we know how quick Liam is. Sporting a new helmet as well for this race. He was pointed out to us pre-race. Looking very nice, I must say. I approve. It's very similar to my helmet though. Doesn't have the purple, as all the other colours. I like it. I do like it. Crankybot. Can he make a move on Big Ben? Not quite close enough at the moment. Liam, not quite close enough either to Pratik on this occasion. And Lucas, well, Cosmic, good amount of ERS to help save, well, to help win battle. He's been saving well. And looks like we're going to see a move for P1, are we? Not quite. Yellow flag is out to 2, and that's Mercedes, a black man, but Bruma is going to go down the inside of Tiku. He's just about going to get ahead. Moved himself up into P3 now. Justus in the Renault. Will be the next car to have a go. Trying to find a way past his teammate. You can imagine. Just got the tyre life, took a bit of a lock up down towards turn number 4. And Crankybot and Big Bear still going at it, no way through for Crankybot this time around once more. Without penalties, and that could be crucial come the end of the race. Look at Lucas all over the back of Cosmic now. They go through, I think it's turn 11 or 12. DRS open, but actually just use this ERS is saved. It's just keeping the Williams behind. He just can't get close enough because he's on pretty much 0% ERS. Down the inside he goes. He's late on the brakes. Didn't leave much room there. That was a bit of a forceful move. It must be said, but actually fair play. Fair play to Lucas. Understood the mistake and gave the position back. He's got to respect that. One thing this will do is allow Bruma to close in a little bit more, and he'll be able to see the delta ticking down at the moment. But surely with Lucas, he's got a bit more ERS to play. The ERS battle was a little bit more level this time around. Will we see a move down in towards turn number 1? The Williams driver isn't gaining in this initial phase. Doesn't have the ERS too, but now DRS is opened. He is closing in on the Haas car. Is he close enough? He isn't on this occasion. Haas car looking fast in a straight line. The two Renaults swapping places as Justus goes down the inside, like his helmet as well. And further back, Crankybot and Big Bear, their battle's calmed down a touch. Keza still leading Pratik and Liam. Again, it's that sort of DRS slipstream train effect. That's what we're feeling at the moment. Lucas picked up another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And I thought he was on the car on the right there, maybe looking for a move. Cosmic feeling the need to go defensive into some of these corners. You know, it's on the straights. He doesn't seem to have the pace, Lucas, in all honesty. And Bruma, well, he's loving the side of this because he's closing in quite at a rapid rate of knots. As they go down the back straight once more. Cosmic, is he far enough ahead? Cosmic now hits 0% ERS. Will this be enough? Let's go down the inside for Lucas. Not quite close enough this time around. And Keza further back in the battle with Crankybot. Crankybot's got DRS as well though, so that just means he can't quite close in at the rate he'd want to. And we look back at the battle for P1. The rain is still saying 10 minutes out on my telemetry app. As we go through the final corner, surely he's close enough now. Surely he's got the overtake to have a go. Try and make the move stick. He's got a little bit more overtake to play with. DRS open, and now I think we're going to see the Williams overtake the Haas. And as Cosmic goes, he covers the inside, he goes defensive. Look at that, Bruma, he's within a second of this battle. He tries to go around the outside. Luke Cosmic's having none of it. Broomer's loving the sight of this battle. Takes a wide line. Cosmic giving a bit of a squeeze. He's fighting this one all the way. You've got to give him credit because he's doing it with 18 lap old mediums. Cosmic on the inside, Lucas on the outside. Cosmic still just about got the nose ahead. Can Broomer get double overtake? Oh, Cosmic went for that was an aggressive block and a half. Broomer though in the middle of the sandwich. He's gonna go a bit wayward. He's just about ahead. How has there not been a crash in this one? Down the inside from the Haas driver. Broomer has to almost run wide. That was a move off track from the Williams driver. He's going to get ahead. We all pick up penalties down at that corner. And you would not have predicted that a couple of laps ago. The order is now Broomer, Lucas, Cosmic. Broomer taking advantage there. And I think, well, it got a bit hectic there, didn't it? I think we might have to drop that one as a racing incident. And Cosmic, well, he's lost the... built up what was about a 3-second lead over the Mercedes driver. It's now been diminished. And at this point... maybe the medium tyres on the softer level, you know, the 7-lap-old soft tyres. He's been having to work them hard. Been a move further back as Keza has got ahead of Crankybot. Can Crankybot fight this one? He's on the inside. He picks up a 3-second. He picks up another warning. Pratik and Liam almost concertina behind. Can Liam get a better exit? Pratik, oh, both of them were really on the traction limit there. And Liam trying to go clean around the outside. No way through. That's going to come right through the next corner. He's going to lose touching distance a little bit. Who's got a good exit though? It's Pratik on the back of Crankybot. Williams versus Red Bull. And the battle at the front, they stay as they were. Cosmic must be loving this, just getting helped pulled along by the DRS. And Mamba sets the fastest lap of the race on a brand new set of softs. Pratik on the inside, wheel to wheel with Crankybot, and he is ahead of Crankybot. The rain 5 minutes out, according to the telemetry app. It's getting exciting, because we're not sure when it's going to come. Will Lucas's tyres drop off? He seems to have the pace. Still, the soft seems to be quicker than the mediums at this phase of the race. We're just waiting for the first droplets to appear. Will we even need the intermediates? That's the question. Will the rain be strong enough, or will it be worth it? I think it will be. But we're going to have to see. We have to wait for the droplets to appear. And there they are. There are the droplets of rain. Lucas will be on the outside for this battle as we go down towards the heavy braking zone and then the back straight. He's going to try and go clean around the outside. He's gone a little bit deep. He's locked up. Has he avoided the wall? Just about. And that was intense for a brief moment. Look at the rain now. Who's going to pull the trigger on the intermediates? That's the next question in this race. Keza ahead of Big Bear. Easy move with DRS and gets ahead before the braking zone has started, with the first two cars to come towards the pit lane. Bit of a dummy there for Lucas. They're not coming in just yet. Waiting for the DRS disabled sign. And the rain as well. It's streaming off the rainbow on the Williams Halo. Samuel and Crankybot swapping places. And swapping places are further ahead as Liam can't get past Pratik on this occasion. Justy's not far behind Cosmic. Look at the closing speeds between the Renault and the Haas. The Haas covers the inside. We've seen how strong Cosmic is in defence. And he's late on the brakes and somehow makes the corner. I thought he was going to be way too late. Oh, it's a bit of a late squeeze, if I say so myself. And he's hard when he comes to racing and battling. But Cosmic keeps ahead for the time being. He's trying that sort of, well, the effective one stop. Doesn't want to do 2 stints on the drive. I think he might have to yield this position as the Renault gets ahead. Look at that half tyre life. Effectively, the rain is coming down now at a stronger rate. Intermediate for Crankybot. Crankybot is the first to pull the trigger. Coming out the pit lane now. I think it's a little bit too early, but we're going to find out. We follow his first couple of corners. Bit of a lock-up. Can't get the car turned in. I think that's your sign with this one. A little bit too early for intermediates at the current moment. Cosmic is a little bit of a mad lad, but I mean, I'm loving it. I would say very much on the limit. One way to put it. Yellow flags. I mean, that's Mercedes Black Mamba spinning on a set of fresh shots. Pratik and Big Bear swapping places. Pratik with a helping hand of DRS. Will we see any of the two leaders coming to pit lane? Lucas is gone for the move. He's into the pit lane. One of the top two into the pits. Surely for a set of intermediates. He's being followed by Justus. He's being followed by Cosmic. They think the rain. It's time for the rain. Crankybot. Well, this problem is Crankybot's proving us, it's not time for the wets yet. Not time for the intermediates. Actually, that might be the time for the intermediates. Not a great exit for Maggot. And it's a flurry down in the pit stops. Justus onto the inters. Lucas, of course, at the end of the pit lane. Keeps ahead. Good stop from the Williams boys and girls. Looking at Crankybot, though, he's not gaining. He's losing out. You would have thought. Struggling on the intermediates at the current moment. Bruma probably will be coming in next lap, or might hang out a bit longer. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, really squirrely out of turn 1 for Liam. Trying to put the power down and not even really, you know, trying to avoid full throttle there at the moment. We'll try and do a comparison. Actually, I think it's time for the inters. Oh, it's very close actually. I want a crossover point. Lucas is catching Liam at the moment. DRS is disabled, so now it is sort of, as the game puts it, a sort of time for inters, time to change on, you know, to take the slicks off. And is he gaining? He is. Now he's pulling out even more time. That's a Ferrari facing the wrong way. I think that's going to be Florian. On old hard tyres. Yellow flag set to free. That's Bruma. Bruma's facing the wrong way. You can see the water flicking up. He should have come in the last lap. Avoids front wing damage. But look how difficult it is for him. Ferrari of Florian has gone again. And that's a real power slide from Tiku. That's like rally stuff. Coming into the final sector, it was the right call to come in on the last lap. They're really gaining time massively. The guys who pitted onto the inters. That's Keswick running really deep. Can't get the car slowed down in this one. Someone spun. I think it's the Mercedes of Florian. Not going well for Mercedes. Things going wrong for them. And Liam surely into the pit lane. Look how much Lucas has caught up. And the track, well, it's completely different to what it was earlier. Putting on the inters is the Mercedes of Bruma. And Lucas comes round the final corner. And he's got a fuel light on. Maybe running a little bit low. But Bruma isn't at full racing speed yet. Cosmic moves himself up into third. Bruma just on the pit lane exit now. Yellow flags. Still with Black Man, of course. Some of the guys haven't actually got round yet to put on the inters. Is Maggott staying out? Oh no, that was the other McLaren I was looking at. Positions are changing all through this pit stop phase. Guys who pit on the previous lap really gaining out big time. Trying to think who should come to the pit lane. Look, Crankybot and Big Bear are in a massive battle, and he's now quite a way behind him. The track has changed over the course of the last 2 laps massively. And Riker, like he always does, avoids penalties and just slowly climbs up the order. That's what he's been doing. And well, if we look at the battle up the road, as things stand, yellow flag set free. Maggott is out. I think that's in the pit lanes. We don't have to worry about that too much. Oh, safety car. Black Mamba's out. Can't quite see where the safety car has been called out. Pretty much the last moment the safety car can be called out. An advantage swings the way of Riker. It swings the way of Miranda because they haven't got penalties. We talked about this earlier on, and it's going to come back to bite the likes of Lucas, the likes of Cosmic, who have got big time penalties, and they're up at the front. The field is going to bunch up. The field spread isn't that big. If you ignore the 2 Ferraris, the field spread isn't that big, and Florian gets a drive-through. Luckily for him, he's already a lap down, so doesn't have to worry about that one too much. But this is definitely throwing the cats amongst the pigeons, and I'm not sure who could win this one. Justus, Bruma in good spots. Riker, no penalties, of course, for him as well. And Lucas, well, he was pushing it quite hard in the early phases of the race. What's happened to Cosmic? Cosmic retired? No! That's in the pit lane as well. Oh, what's he doing? He was in a great place. Despite the 9 seconds of penalties, but it's still a very good place. What's going on? I think his debut as well. You know, first time in RLH. Not what you want to see. A retirement in the pit lane from a good position. I'm a little bit perplexed. But nevertheless, what that does do is help out Riker a little bit. One less car to think about. All he needs to do is stay within 3 seconds of Justus, and I imagine he would win this race, or Bruma, depending who crosses the line first. I think Lucas as well. Unless Riker has an awful final 2 laps. Oh, come on, Ticky, you can't get another penalty while you're under the safety car. You'll catch them, don't worry. We have to have, I think, 2 laps left of racing, if I'm correct. I would imagine we're not going to get going in this lap. It will be the end of the next lap, if I'm correct. And we're ready for a chaotic end to this race. I would imagine we're going to have definitely the top 12 all bunched up. And Riker, where did he start? Started down in P12, ticket up from P15. Great race for him. Big Bear making up loads of places, Samuel as well. But for me, classic Riker. You know, maybe not the most. How do I word this? Maybe not the most sort of, you know, not the best over one lap. I think it's fair to say, but an expert in the race at just running his own race, avoiding penalties, slowly working his way up the order. And he profits from it. I would say probably one of the best racers in RLH, 100%. And he's in a really good spot to win this race once again. And I remember in season 7 just nicked so many podiums. Was always there. If someone was going to profit, it was Riker. I'm going to get going in the next lap. The two Ferraris have got a chance of joining the back of the field. Unfortunately, Florian, you know, he's a lap down, but Miranda should be able to join the back of the field before we get racing. So for him, well, he's going to have that advantage when we do get racing. Has no penalties, so again, always been a collision in and amongst the pack. Some guys getting penalties, change of positions, whatever went on. Miranda, when he does get to the back of the pack, I think he will do. He's going to have the warmest tyres. He'll have the confidence in the conditions. You know, he's effectively been driving flat out while we've been in this safety car period, because he can effectively drive flat out. And, well, we'll see how he gets on, I think, in all honesty. I think number 95, 96. Oh, no, he's 69. Classic. Yeah, might be the most confident in these conditions when we do get racing. Of course, it still is a bit of an unknown. We haven't really, you know, the track is as wet as it has been so far. It was only sort of light rain before the safety car came out. And these guys will try and warm up, but the ERS is for everybody back up to 100%. I imagine fuel no longer an issue. And Big Bear gets a 5-second penalty. Penalty starting to rack up a little bit for some drivers. I guess with the spray just kicking up and just being a little bit more, you know, just being harder to control the car. Some drivers maybe going to the back of others, as Florian's got to drive through. I was for speeding under the first part off the safety car. And the safety car is in this lap. Lucas becomes the effective race leader. And all eyes are on him. Comes the effective safety car. He is the race leader. Comes the effective safety car. And he starts to back the pack up. That's a very interesting line through there, but of course the safety car, because it's quite a tight, twisty section, the safety car doesn't bolt off as quick as you want it to. He really is backing the pack up. At this moment, the safety car will pull to the right hand side as it goes into the pit lane. And we're watching back for when he decides to bolt. When he decides to go, who will win this race? On track is one question, after penalties will be another. He's going to go off the final corner, I think. What's happened to Cranky Bot? Further back, I'm not too sure. And he's going to go off the final corner. Overtake is enabled. And he is racing. We are racing once again for the final 2 laps in the Russian Grand Prix for pre-season. Here at RLH, Riker under threat from Pratik, it looks like. But everyone's just got overtake enabled. It's just who's got this, you know, least draggiest car. Maybe looking for a move there. Was Bruma. He's head down towards turn number 1. And Samuel and Big Bear swapping places. The Haas down the inside of the McLaren. That's the only move so far. Wet tyres for Liam. Very bold call. Maybe a bit of damage picked up in some of those collisions. Pratik closing in on Riker. Riker feels the need to go defensive. Can Pratik get a bit of a switchback line? Chernobyl and Cranky Ball. There's a car facing the wrong way. That's Big Bear. And he... Oh, no, he wasn't facing the wrong way. Cranky Ball has to take avoiding action, running a little bit wide. But everyone, you know, no wing damage, it seems, for anyone in particular. I think Riker's got a great chance of winning this race. Needs to keep it nice and composed now. 1.5 laps left to go. But Pratik is right behind, and that could cause a few issues for the Racing Point driver. Big Bear. Oh, and he's got close. Samuel had a bit of a moment coming out of one of the corners in the middle section. Chernobyl gets ahead. A bit of a gap forming. We've effectively got a top 7 now. As the AlphaTauri driver losing a little bit of touch with the guys in front. Riker desperately trying to hold on. He's got more. Oh, right. Riker's been a bit more aggressive on the overtake. He's felt the need to be a bit more aggressive on the overtake. Will Pratik go for a move? No, he will not. Saving it up as things stand. Thank you, and Big Bear swapping places. Big Bear ahead of the McLaren driver, runs a little bit wide. Though I think he's missing a bit of front wing. That's not going to help his performance, especially in these treacherous conditions. And we can see it there. Goes in really deep, just understeering completely, almost into that wall. Nothing doing so far. Riker has closed the gap to Tiku in the final sector. Can he get a good exit? Now actually losing touch a little bit to the guys in front. It could swing back the way of Justus, because Justus is 3 seconds clear of Riker. They've really managed to push away the top three over this last lap. Bruma losing touch of distance. I think Justus is in a position to win this race. Miranda making up places. Made up a few, got part of Liam because of the pit stop. And let's be going well in these conditions, keeping touch of distance with a lot of guys in front of him. He is another driver making up places on this final lap. Riker wants to get a move on. He's hanging by a thread within DRS, within 3 seconds of Bruma. I think it might be third rather than second for the Racing Point driver. Things not swinging his way in the final couple of laps. I mean, he's still going to probably jump up onto the podium, but could have been more. Potentially, he's flirting with that 3 second window he's got. He's going to have to give that Racing Point absolutely everything in the middle and final stage. But Bruma will be doing exactly the same. He wants P2 in this race. He maybe wants P1. But Lucas, well, take away the penalties. It's been a good race for the Williams driver. A lot of positives to take into the up-and-coming Euro Cup. But it's been a great race, and I think the start to something exciting here in C2. We're going to see a great battle between a lot of drivers. It's been very, very close throughout all this race. No matter what the conditions were, everyone was in a battle, and I think that was great to see. But the Williams driver, 2 more corners to go. He's going to win the race on track. He'll be the first one to cross the line, but it will be Justus that takes the win here in pre-season, followed by Bruma. How close can he get? The gap as they cross the line, less than 3 tenths per second. Tiku will cross the line in P4. Again, that becomes third, but actually it's Riker finishing out the podium. Pratik is in 4th, Keza 5th, Chernobyl up in his 6th, and Lucas drops all the way down to P8. Samuel takes 12th. Miranda, well, Miranda was down in like 13th, and he's jumped. He's jumped Lucas. That just shows you the power of not having penalties when a safety car hits late. Crankybot takes the final points in P10. 11th, Samuel 12th. Liam, the final car to finish. I don't think the wet tyres were the... Are they good, Colt? Maybe. I'm not too sure. Hard to tell. With the final 2 corners coming up. Maybe they were. Maybe they weren't. I'm not telling you. I don't think they were. But he crossed the line, and he's the final car in this one. But Justus takes the win in the Renault. And he didn't take up any points, but he would be 40. New point system ready. And Riker gets driver of the day. I can say that. I think Justus deserves a lot of credit as well, and I think that maybe I'd give it his way. But a lot of positions made up by Riker. And a really good drive from the Racing Point driver. But it's Justus from Bruma, from Riker. And that is your top 3 in C2 pre-season. And well, it's been exciting. We can't lie. And hopefully we're going to have a lot of exciting races in the C2 this season. That must be Alan Prost. I don't think it is. No, it's not. It really isn't. But there we have it. Justus takes the win. Bruma in P2. Riker rounds off the podium. And the rest of the top 10 is Pratik, Keza, Chernobyl, Tiku, Miranda, Lucas, and Crankybot. And just missing out Big Bear, Samuel, Liam, Florian, and the ones that didn't finish, Cosmic, Maggot, and Black Mamba. But look at that. 15 seconds off penalties, and that's what happens. But again, pre-season's all about learning. And we'll see everybody maybe in the next couple of days. We'll see if we can get the other races streamed this week. But definitely next week for the start of the Euro Cup at, I think, Hungary. I think it's Hungary. I'm hungry. So we'll leave this one there. Thank you everyone for watching. And I hope you've enjoyed the race as much as I have. And we'll see you all next week. Or this week.